Hi, my name is Aaron Baudet, and for 28 years I've been working with people typically over 65 who are on the Medicare program. I market Medicare health plans, supplements, Part D plans, and today I just want to help you demystify a very good way to identify a suitable Part D plan for you. This is just a snippet of information, but this is really helpful stuff. I know this because I meet with people. I see all the letters and all the marketing material. It's all over the table. I get the phone calls. They're confused because it's confusing, especially if you're just turning 65 and you don't know how things really work. So I'm going to give you some ideas on how to really hone this skill because it's all out there. Mostly what I'm going to talk about is the resource that Medicare has put up, Medicare.gov, on the internet. It's really a good resource. I'm going to just look at my notes here. So this is just about helping you. And I've got a lot of information. I'm going to put out a series of videos on different topics. This one is expressively about a portion, only a portion of the Part D program and what you can do to find and identify something that may be in your best interests. So, when you turn 65, Medicare wants you, in my opinion, to have a Part D drug plan. It's not mandatory. However, if you don't take one, if you don't enroll in one, and you do in the future, they can actually give you a penalty where you will pay more unless you have in place what Medicare considers creditable coverage from another source. Creditable means that there is coverage that is meeting or exceeding the qualities that Medicare has set forth in their program. Medicare per se doesn't offer Part D drug plans. They are underwritten by private insurance companies. However, Medicare dictates the minimum standards for these benefits, and these insurance companies have to meet or exceed those standards. So not every Part D drug plan will cover the same drugs. They have to cover at least two drugs in each therapeutic category. This is part of the program. And this is why there's no one drug plan that's right for everybody. I see it a lot, especially with diabetes, where somebody maybe takes Humalog, somebody takes Novolog, somebody takes metformin, somebody takes something different, and not every company covers them all. So what Medicare.gov does for you, it has a tool, and it's a really cool tool where you can enter all of your drugs, the dosages and the frequencies, and then you can go ahead and click a few buttons, and it lists all of the drug plans for you in order of overall cost for your specific combination of needs. Sadly, I don't have the time to go ahead and show you all the screenshots, but I'm going to tell you how it works. And this is really important. All the drug plans are based on zip code and county. They can differ from your neighbor. If your neighbor's in a different county, then there will probably be different options. So if you go to Medicare.gov, there's a button. It says Find Drug and Health Plans. You can click that button. There's 3 questions that you can answer. In the last question, you answer yes. I want to enter my drugs. If you don't take drugs, then you don't enter your drugs. But we're here to talk about Part D drug plans. Then the screen comes up. It asks you for your zip code, and then a search box comes up where you can type in, the first few letters of a drug that you're taking. This is all anonymous, by the way. Nobody knows who you are as long as you haven't logged in. So MET would, pull up metformin and all the different forms of metformin, and then it populates. It spells the rest of the word for you. You click that, and it opens up all the dosages available, a list. All you do is you set your dosage, and then down below you can set your frequency. If you take 1 a day, if you take 2 a day, or 3 or 4 a day, or 1 a week, you can designate all that. Then you press enter, and it populates in the queue. The search box comes up again. You can put in the next drug and do it again. And you can do this until all of your drugs are in. If it is a brand name drug and there's a generic available, that option will come up. Oh, would you rather take the generic? Do you take the generic? And then you can enter that. It's really pretty cool. All the Medicare covered drugs are in this formulary, in this list. Once you've gotten all your drugs in there, you click next, and then you select a pharmacy. The pharmacies are populated because it knows your zip code. Sadly, you can only select 2 pharmacies at a time. I would select, the radius in which you want to travel, 3, 7 miles, 1 mile, 15 miles, whatever it is, and set 2 pharmacies. All these private insurance companies have relationships with pharmacies. So some of them are what they consider preferred, and they will treat certain drugs, or all drugs, basically better than others, and it'll be a little cheaper. Once you've selected your pharmacies, and by the way, you can come back to that screen and change pharmacies if you want to try different options in the future. Once you click that, then another screen comes up, and there are 3 options on the right hand side. The one we're talking about today is prescription drug plans. Click that button, click next to the next screen, and then it will show you 10 Medicare approved Part D plans. There's a button on the top right where you can show all plans. And if you click that, it's going to give you a listing of all the Medicare Part D drug plans available in your market. The first one, the one from a private insurance company, and then the bottom left, it will show you 2 numbers. The retail cost of your drugs, and right below that it'll show you the mail order cost of your drugs. This is computing to the end of the year for you, but it's computing on many different factors. The 4 phases of the drug plan, it's taking into consideration the premium of the drug plan, the deductibles of the drug plan, the co-pays during the initial coverage limit, and during the coverage gap and catastrophic. It's computing all of these for you. So if you look at the very first plan available on a commercial basis, you will see that that has the lowest cost, and as you scroll down the list, the cost for you in your particular set of drugs will get higher and higher and higher. And if you look at the bottom one, you will see that it costs a tremendous amount more depending upon which drugs you're taking. So I would argue that the ones at the top of the list would be the strongest considerations for you, because most people who are retired or on Medicare are on a fixed income, and price is one of the main considerations. They're on a fixed income. I understand. And it makes sense. Now, just because the one that's the lowest cost doesn't mean that's the one that's right for you. Maybe you click on that. If you click on that link, it'll open up. And maybe you don't like the ratings, the star ratings. Maybe you had a friend who had a bad experience. Or maybe that is the plan for you. That's a decision that you have to make. But all the plans are listed there. And if you do click that link, it'll bring you into another screen which shows the company, the cost, the star ratings, and as you go further down, it'll show you the cost, depending upon which pharmacy you selected, mail order. Down below, it'll show you a nice little layout of, hey, here's the retail cost of the drug. Here's what your copay will be during the deductible phase, during the initial coverage copay phase, during the coverage gap phase, and during the catastrophic phase, if you should reach that. And down below that, there's a graph. It makes it very visual. I know this may sound a little complex, but it's not that hard. If you don't use the internet, that would be hard to believe because you're watching this video, or if you're not feeling savvy, there's a lot of resources. You can call Medicare, 1-800-MEDICARE. You can call somebody like me who's been around, a number of years and really wants to help. You can go to your local office of the aging. Here in my county, in upstate New York, the Office of the Aging is great. It's a free service. These people are mostly volunteers. They know what they're doing. They do this every day, and they can help you with a lot of things. I'd urge you, to seek out one of those resources, or maybe you know of somebody else that can help assist in this. The information for enrolling is also on that website. You can call if you're already a member. You can call to enroll. Of course, there are certain times of the year when you can enroll and certain times of the year that you can't, depending upon your circumstances. We're going to talk about that in a later video so that you're aware of how that works. I know I'm giving you a lot of information. What's important is that you understand there's functionality that's available to you that can really make this easier for you. If your copays are really high, be aware that there are a few programs out there. There's a lot of extra help. There actually is a program called Extra Help. depending upon your income, you may qualify for that. And just be aware of that. They can help you with that too. You can call Social Security, Office of the Aging. This is what these people do. This is part of what I do as well. In addition to that, many states have what they call a state pharmaceutical assistance program. This can help you manage costs if your drugs are expensive. You can go to Google. You can go into the search bar and put in state pharmaceutical assistance program and put your state in there. And up will populate what's available in your state and what the terms and conditions are. So these are things you need to be aware of. In New York here we have a program called EPIC. It's very strong. If you're married and you're earning under $100,000 a year, you can qualify for it. If you're single, it's $75,000. Does this mean it will help you? Maybe, depending upon your income, how close you are to the threshold, and how expensive your drugs are. In other states, thresholds are 25, 30, 35,000. It depends upon your state. And so just be aware that there are programs out there. You can talk to your pharmacist about it. Usually they have applications and information. In my insurance, I work with brokers. I don't work with people who only represent one solution. That just is something that I don't think is in my best interest. And I think it's in your best interest to work with a broker, if you're working with a broker who represents many different companies and many different solutions. That being said, on the drug plans, I only represent a few options. The reason is the back end is tough. They require training every year, and I don't make a lot of money on them, so it's really difficult. I don't represent them all. But I will tell you this, that if there's a Part D plan that you feel is best for you, and I don't represent that company, I want you to get it. Because I want to do what's in your best interest. That's what's important. Maybe we'll do business somewhere else. Maybe we won't do any business. Maybe you have a friend who needs some help, and I'll do business with that person. So I don't worry about the small stuff. What's important is that, you get what's in your best interest. I don't think there's much more to say on this video, but if you have questions, you can post them down below. This went longer than I anticipated. And again, my name is Aaron Beaudet. I've been working with Medicare health plans, Medicare supplements, Medicare Part D plans for many, many years. And I hope this was helpful. And, whether you're on Medicare, you know somebody on Medicare, your grandmother's on Medicare, this may help them. I will be putting up other videos on other topics. But as I said in the beginning, this is just a snippet. There's a lot to know about Medicare Part D plans. So take care. Talk soon.